Alright, good evening everybody. Welcome aboard the Cessna Citation Longitude here in Microsoft Flight Simulator. We're currently parked here in Worcester, Massachusetts. Landed here last week, and now we're going to be taking this for the very short hop over to the LaGuardia airport in New York City. Obviously very quick flights today. That's kind of part of the challenge for today. So without further ado, I don't want to bore you, so let's just get right on into the planning phase. Alright, so here you can see I have vPilot open right now, so we got our route in. Alternate, we don't need to file an alternate for today. Departure time I set for 45 minutes from now. Cruising at 24,000 feet today. Honestly, we probably have more than 4 hours of fuel on board, but that's just a guesstimate. I'll explain that all in a second. But our route, we're going to be taking Nelly to Valray and then the Harp 3 arrival. Planning on taking the ILS runway 22 into LaGuardia unless told otherwise. Just to give you an idea of what we're looking at today, so fuel on board, we want 4,000 pounds for this leg, and we're going to be loading an additional 5.6 for the next leg down to Asheville, North Carolina. I'm not going to be taking that leg. The story is I'm just moving the airplane to LaGuardia, and then some other crew is going to take over and carry passengers down to Asheville. In reality, I was going to do that flight too. I just got caught up with something, and I'm going to have to leave at 6, so that's not going to work out, sadly. Just taking a look here, you can see our cruising altitude's up at 24,000 feet. Planning on true airspeed of around 450, which I filed for. Taking a look at the weather, I did double check it. It all looks very clear. It's a beautiful day across the whole East Coast today. TAF's calling for at the time of our arrival. It should be clear, no winds. Well, winds out of 280 at 6 actually. Yeah, it's beautiful. So planning on taking runway 22. That's just some legal disclaimer. And that's what our route looks like on the map. So that little point that you see over here, if it'll let me draw, you see this point right here is where we join the Harp 3 arrival. So our top of descent is probably going to be right around there is our top of descent. And then we'll just plan on there. And from there, we can honestly just take the ILS 22 almost straight in unless we're told otherwise. But that's what we're planning for today. Let me just go ahead and double check our departure procedure out of Worcester real quick. And so basically they're saying runway heading up to 1600 and then make a right-hand turn on course. So that might actually have us kind of loop around a little bit, but that's fine because we have plenty of time to kill. There's Valray right there. You can see it's clearly labeled for us on the star. We'll start our descent, plan on descending via the star unless otherwise told by ATC. So we can kind of see here that we are planning to expect 8,000 so we'll descend down to 8,000 initially, and then from Harp, Crawley, so from there we're not given any altitude restrictions, so we can just descend down to whatever the ILS for runway 22 will give us. There's a slight chance with this airplane that it won't give us the ILS. If that does happen, we'll just go visual and explain to ATC that we're going to need vectors for the ILS because it won't load us into it's not letting us load. Taking a look at our weight and balance here, we can see we have our 4,000 loaded plus the 5,600 to get us to Asheville. Well, we won't be going to Asheville, but it's for the crew after us. That way they don't have to refuel at LaGuardia. They can just get their passengers and go. Other than that, we're pretty empty today. I just put in 50 in both baggage compartments just for, my pilot bags and everything else. Other than that, we are completely empty, so we'll say we just got loaded up, and we are ready to board this beautiful Citation. Alright, now for the fun bit. I did download some checklists for this Citation. Here's the cockpit, by the way. It's the default one. There's nothing too special about it, but I personally think it's really clean and nice. So looking ahead at my iPad, this is a PDF I downloaded off of, I think it was flightsim.to. I'll leave a link for it in the description. I don't remember off the top of my head who made it. Actually, I think it was Grim who made it. You can see up there. But I'll leave a link to it in the description. So let's just get right into this. So circuit breakers, I honestly don't know where they are in this airplane. You can see there with that green light, that means I presume that it's working well. We can turn standby power on, and battery buses both coming in. Oop, there you go. You can see it froze for 1 second while it loads all the displays. Okay, there we go. And bus battery 2 should come on as well. And you can see everything's coming to life now. Hydraulic data checked, we'll say we did that. APU, we're going to go ahead and fire up. We'll say we don't have a GPU, but honestly, we're going to be off here in a few minutes anyway, so we don't need no ground power around here. Down here on this airplane, just go ahead and crank that starter, and you can see it flip back to on. We can see down here, there we go. EGT's rising, RPMs are rising. There's 100%. You can hear it. Yep, there we go. Bus ties. APU gen is coming on, hopefully. Oh, it's already on. Awesome. You can hear now we got a little bit of air flowing through the airplane. It says cockpit controls is next. Honestly, I'm guessing that has to do with, well, it says autopilot's later, so I'm not too sure what they mean by cockpit controls, but our flight controls are, oh my god, wait, they're actually not going up. Oh, you know what? Well, that's a little bit funny. I actually forgot to plug in my my joystick before this. But we're in now, and you can see things are, ooh, that I think should be banking a little bit steeper. Give me 1 second just to take a look at that. Okay, well, it's saying that's the max range. I personally am skeptical of that, though. But we'll see maybe once we get our hydraulic lines up and running from the engine, then maybe things will be better. There we go. So by using the little trim on my throttle seemed to be working. I got down to -5. Probably more like -4 is what we want, if I had to guess. There we go. Fuel quantity, yep, 94. So that's our 56 I already loaded plus the 4. So it's 56 plus 4,000. That's actually seems a little bit lower than I expected, but that's fine. If they need to, they can add a tiny bit in LaGuardia. And next up, all we have to do is just get the autopilot set up. So I'll be right back while I go ahead and plug in our flight plan. Okay, just to show you guys what I have set up in here, I actually need to select the runway. So we're planning for 29er. I'll verify that in a minute. So 29er to Nelly, and then you can see I have the arrival set up to Valray. So I'm really hoping that after Nelly, we can just proceed direct to Valray. I'm guessing if I click on this, yep, activate leg to waypoint, just direct to. Any of that should hopefully activate this arrival. And you can see if we click, I did put runway 22 in for LaGuardia. If we click procedure and approach, we should be able to see, yep, ILS runway 22, and we can change our transition as needed. So let's not load that yet. Let's just do that once we get in the air. This is all going to happen very, very quickly though. So with that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and cheat a little bit with center not online. We're going to go up straight to 24,000 feet. Oop, and I forgot we need to right click to change the mode. There we go, 24,000. We'll plan on, we can punch our flight directors on now, why not? Flight level change, oop, that reminds me, I need to go into here and grab our takeoff speeds. But it looks like if I go into speed bugs, it'll let me turn all of them on, and it seems like we have a good idea. So FTO 185, I believe that's what we're looking for a good climb out speed. So let's just set this down. Now I'm going to set you to manual to 185. And I did see, by the way, on my flight plan page, there is a VNAV cruising at 42. FMS speed is now 200. Climb up, it'll do 270. I like that idea. Transition 18,000. And terminal area. Okay, that'll all work out just fine. Descent. Mach 0.8, 300, -3 degree glide slope. I'm fine with all of that, honestly. I'm just going to manage things manually for now, descend when my flight plan says I should. Yep, you can see our nav source is set to FMS, so awesome. Let's actually, now that I think about it though, since it wanted us to make a right-hand turnout on departure and we don't have ATC online, let's make that right-hand turn. So let's just leave it on a northerly heading for now, and we'll just adjust it as needed later. So plan on leaving heading mode on for now. And then once we've swung around, we'll intercept our course, punch nav mode on, keep the climb going as per usual, as planned. Alright, we have everything loaded up. It's 4:30. Our departure time is in 15 minutes. So let me just punch in a couple quick frequencies and then we'll be ready to go. Okay, so we just went ahead and grabbed the information whiskey here, exactly what I just expected, so I'm not even going to worry about that anymore. 122.8, that's just FastSim's common frequency is in, and then we have LaGuardia on comm to the LaGuardia airport information, so we don't have to run and scramble to get that later. With that all out of the way, let's go back to our documents here. Before start checklist, park and brake is just verified. Set. Wheel chocks are removed. We'll go ahead and take a look outside real quick. And as expected, all chocks and ground equipment are removed. Cabin door, not really required to be closed. Passenger briefing, not required. Seats and pedals and everything are all good for me. Seatbelt button is in op apparently. Just double check, make sure we got no alerts on our displays that we should be aware of. It doesn't look like we are. Recognition light at this point should come on, as well as a anti-collision light, since we'll be firing up here in 1 second. Clear behind, we'll go ahead and give the signal to our ground crewmen. And just verify the fuel shutoff valve, it says, should be checked. I don't actually know where that is. Let's not worry about it too much and just start up the engine. So beacon light is on, throttles verified are both idle. Right engine will go ahead and start up first, so all we have to do there is flip this to run, and here it got quiet. That's the bleeds being redirected to the engines. You see our N2 now of 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and right around 20 they should start to add fuel, if I recall correctly. Yep, there we go. Okay, I was about to say, did I actually get the fuel pumps on? Let that run for a second. That would have been awkward if I didn't. Awesome, you can see the air just kicked on, ignition is now off, and everything is in the green, temperatures, pressure, all of that. It looks beautiful. Let's go ahead and fire up the left engine now. Going to be the exact same start procedure. Close the guard, open, and punch that ignition. Got good N2 rotation. There we go, ignition's off and everything is stabilizing just beautifully. Awesome, let's go ahead now and keep going through our checklist. Left engine ITT, temperatures, oil, we just checked all that, looks great. Left and right gens, just to make sure we reset them and verify that they're on. So, oh, that's standby power. Whoops. Generator, reset, on, no alerts or anything there. Bus tie verified is open, APU generator is going to come off now. Before taxi checklist, flight controls just verified real quick. Yep, there we go. Now look at all that authority we have. So there's our right, left. I just like doing a box. Flight controls are all free and correct. We're ready to go now. APU should come off down here, and I'm sure we'll see in a second. Our APU is dying down now. Generators are all still good, which means that our electrical systems are working as expected. Speed brakes checked, verified, are retracted. You can see they're not. I don't know why they're not, but they are now. Trims we already set for takeoff approximately. And ice protection, really not required for this flight. Here's our ice protection down here on the first officer side, so everything's off. That's fine. Pitot heat should be left normal. Everything's fine, though. We're not going to be in known icing conditions on this departure. V speeds verified are in fact displayed, and we can see they are. Nav source I just set to FMS. Speed knob should be set to manual, which we did. And crew briefing, so we're going to go ahead and taxi off here. Let me grab my diagram of Worcester. Here it is, you can see on my iPad right now. ATIS we already grabbed. We're just going to be on common frequency for our communications here. We're up here, general aviation parking. I'm planning on taking Bravo, crossing runway 11, sorry, and then Alpha to 29er. So that's going to be our plan for today. Hold short of 29er, and then we're going to, at that point, take off. We have 7,000 feet of runway, which is plenty for this airplane. Once we take off, we're going to, if anything happens before V1, apply some heavy braking, bring the aircraft to a stop. That'll be before 128. After 128, if we lose an engine or have a serious problem, we're going to delay our rotation to 142, that's V2, and then continue a climb out as normal. Troubleshoot, perfectly clear skies today, so we can just come in visually, make a left pattern for runway 29er, and land as soon as possible. Otherwise, assuming everything goes to plan, we're going to get the airplane on autopilot once we have a stabilized climb out and gear is retracted. At that point, once we have the autopilot on, heading mode is already set, so we're going to let that automatically start a turn to the north and keep it going. Basically do almost a 360 until we intercept our flight plan. From then on out, 10,000 feet, we'll do our normal checks, and then again, passing 18,000 will be our transition altitude. It's going to be a very quick climb out, so as soon as we have a moment where we don't have anything to do, we're going to brief our arrival and approach into runway 22 at LaGuardia via the HARP 3 arrival. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Nope, it's just me, so fuck you. Why is it set to 195? That should be 185. Our crew briefing is now complete. And weather radar not required. Next will be our clear for takeoff check. So let's go ahead and release the park and brake, let them know we're ready to go. Man, this thing needs quite the bit of power to get it going. I'm guessing that's just because we have so much fuel on board, but hello, you're probably going to get hit by my wing in a second. And I believe we want to taxi out this way for departure. Still saying no takeoff due to, I probably need to go through my, oh, you know what it is? Our flaps need to be set. There we go. Flaps are now being set. Let's see if it'll... Okay, now it's cleared our no takeoff. Awesome. Oh, Boston Center is online. Okay, that might actually change things a little bit. I might have to talk to them. So give me one hot second. Okay, you can see now we are definitely very covered by ATC, so I'm just going to leave this map up in the background, and we're going to go ahead and call up Center and see what they need or want. Boston Center, Citation 39 or Charlie Juliet.
Station 39 Charlie Juliet, stand by. Station 9 Charlie Juliet, Boston, go ahead.
Boston Center, Citation 39 Charlie Juliet, with you on the ground at Worcester. I'd like to request our IFR to LaGuardia.
Station 9 Charlie Juliet, clear to LaGuardia Airport, radar vectors Nelly, then as filed. Climb and maintain 4,000, expect 16,000, 10 minutes after departure. Squawk 2450, 2450.
Citation 39 Charlie Juliet is cleared to LaGuardia. Radar vectors to Nelly, then as filed. On departure, maintain 4,000. And then can you just clarify our final altitude after departure and frequency correction? Squawk code will be 2450 for Citation 39 Charlie Juliet.
Station 9 Charlie Juliet, readback is correct. Altitude expect after 10 minutes 16,000. Amended altitude.
Expect 16,010 minutes after departure. Citation 39 Charlie Juliet.
Station 9 Charlie Juliet, readback is correct. Worcester altimeter is to correction 3038. Call for taxi, runway 29er.
And Citation 39 Charlie Juliet is ready to taxi.
Station 9 Charlie Juliet, runway 29er, taxi via Bravo Alpha. Cross runway 29er at Bravo.
Runway 29er, taxi via Bravo Alpha, cross runway 29er at Bravo, Citation 39 Charlie Juliet. Alright, that's how you do it. So now we can release our park and brake. Oh, and I almost forgot to put in my squawk code of 2450.
1101, welcome to Hyannis.
Well, it's a good thing we checked before we crossed that whole short line. That would have been very embarrassing.
0, join the localizer.
Just going ahead and changing our altitude now down to 4,000, so you can see right there. That was our initial altitude. So the airplane, obviously, again, we're still going to tell it to, we're just going to punch our autopilot on as soon as possible to reduce our workload. It should level off automatically once we get there. But if we aren't cleared up to 4,000, keep in mind this thing's going to climb like a rocket. So I'm probably going to reduce my throttles down to around 80%. Just so we don't immediately blow through 4,000, because that would be unfortunate. Oop, we got an alert. Speed brakes, autos, they should not be out right now. I don't know why they keep doing this, but yeah, when he was giving me my IFR, I wasn't too sure if he said 24 or 16. I thought I heard 16, and I didn't really think that through as being different until after I was copying that down. But that's going to work out in our favor. So he's going to amend our altitude, and now that means he'll tell me when to descend. So that's going to work out. But there's Alpha, so we can make our right on Alpha and then hold short. Go through our checks. We've already done a pretty thorough takeoff briefing, so I'm not too worried about that. Again, the only thing that I note is that since we are going to be initially maintaining 4,000...
Station 9 Charlie Juliet, on departure, fly runway heading, winds 2908, gust 14, runway 29er, clear for takeoff.
On departure, fly runway heading, runway 29er, clear for takeoff, citation 9er Charlie Juliet. Alright, so he just gave me my takeoff clearance, so let's just punch in
26 information
uniform, our 289er was our runway heading, and you can see it right there, 289er, I just got a real quick, I know he cleared me, but I need to run through our before takeoffs. We already did that. Clear for takeoff now, flight control was free correct. Exterior lights and ice protection are all good, but we do need to turn these on. Just verified those are on, and local lights not required. Those lights aren't required either. Emergency lights are fine. And again, everything's clear on our indication. We're clear for takeoff. Finals clear. Runway's clear. Let's get out of here. And things are going to be pretty darn fast-paced once we get on runway 29er. Or once we take off, I should say. He's going to give us vectors directing at some point to Nelly. We're going to level off at 4,000. If there's a few minutes where we're not doing anything, we'll go ahead and request a higher altitude. But there's runway 29er. Everything's all good here. Let's start to increase engine power. Everything's stabilized, all in the green. Let's go close to full power. Just hold the powers there, and once we bring that gear up, I'm gonna bring my flaps. Well, you know what I mean. Airspeed's alive. We're gonna, once we get the gear up, do our thing. 80 knots, continuing. V1, rotate. Woo, look at that rotation. And if we pass V2, positive rate of climb, gear up, please. Maintaining runway heading for now. Let's just bring these throttles back just an inch. You can actually see it's doing about what I want right now, so we're going to say autopilot on and flight level change mode on. And hopefully this will, yep, intercept.
Citation Niner Charlie Juliet, radar contact with your altitude.
Passing 2200 Cherokee, or correction, Citation Niner Charlie Juliet.
Citation Niner Charlie Juliet, thank you. Climb maintain 16,000.
Up to 16,000, Citation Niner Charlie Juliet.
KLM 12 Charlie Kilo.
Well, that was awesome.
Via Ocean 5 arrival, runway 4 right.
Let's just up our speed by a little bit.
3041.
Maintain runway heading as requested for now.
I say the Ocean 4 Echo, I believe, arrival, Altimeter 30, sorry, correction, Ocean 5 Echo, arrival, Altimeter 3.
And let's bring our notch of flaps up.
KLM 12 Charlie.
And now after takeoff, checklist landing gear up, flaps are up, throttle, ice protection
Citation
not
Niner Charlie Juliet, clear direct Nelly.
Direct Nelly, Citation Niner Charlie Juliet. Alright, you heard the man. Let's just put in our flight plan, Nelly, direct to, and oh, I hate how it does this, and then nav mode on. Did that punch in direct Nelly? It did not. Activate direct Nelly now. There we go. Now we're good. Hate it when this plane does that. But you can see now we're passing 7,000. Just keeping this going. Seatbelts we not required. Altimeters we're not even going to need to set to standard. Let's just let this thing. So let's do 230. I just need to be careful with this stupid thing. 230. Right there. Alright, awesome. So this plane's going to level itself out. Let it get caught up to 230, and hopefully it'll do its thing. About to pass through 10,000, so just got to keep that in mind. See how fast-paced this is? And there you can see it's leveling itself off. So there's 10,000 now. We can increase our speed to 270 as the FMS initially wanted. And you can see our distance to Nelly is 34 out. So we still need to be very on top because we're going to hit that very fast. Now we can go ahead and say, yep, lights on, keep you guys on, everything else there is looking fine. Cool. The after takeoff checklist is now completed.
Charlie Golf Tango Mike Tango Boston.
The scenery here over New England looks beautiful, but that does not mean that we can sit around admiring it. Let's go ahead and immediately pop up our arrival into the LaGuardia airport. So, assuming that we are given, you can kind of see all my notes are still left on this, so, oh, there's 16,000, we're about to level off, and then we can go through our cruise checklist. Let's just leave our power at this for now. We really don't need to be going too fast for this flight, and like for my actual time schedule, I don't have to be anywhere until 6, so we're still plenty ahead of time, but let's just go through our cruise. Oh, we don't even have a cruise checklist on this. Nice.
Altimeter 3041.
After Nelly, we're going to. After Valerie, we can expect 8,000 at Basie if they give us a descend via the star.
American 26.
Then after that, we're just going to follow we're just going to go to Harp.
Still 4 right.
Plan in for Harp, and then they're going to give me Crawley and LaGuardia. But we, in reality, are probably going to be taking the ILS runway 22 into LaGuardia. So let's just pull that up. Procedure, approach, ILS runway 22. We haven't been cleared for anything yet, but we can see we're probably going to take via Yeoman. So let's just plan for that for now. Vectors. Well, actually, you know what? We should plan for vectors for now. Minimums will be 212. So let's just punch that in. 212. Nav 1 will be set to a localizer of 110.5. Already in. Beautiful. Oh, now that I've done that, I've broken it. 110.5. Transfer. Beautiful. And we'll just get that ready to go for our arrival. So that's what we're planning for now. Other than that, taking a look at the full approach here, 110.5 is already in. Approach course 224, got 7,000 feet of runway. Touchdown zone will be at 12 feet. Radar is obviously required for this flight, which we do kind of have right now. I don't know if LaGuardia is online. We'll see if we get handed off, but let's just for now plan on keeping 122.8 in. Yep, so after Nelly, I'm curious if this will automatically activate. We're about to find out here in a second. Yeah, so it's going to be 1900 or above at Greco. If we're going via Yeoman, it's 3000 or above there, and then down to 212. If we don't have the glide slope, we will plan for 600-foot minimums.
So runway
There's Nelly right there,
Delta,
and
Charlie.
The plane is not going to do anything. So, oh, it is. It's going direct. Valerie, awesome. Okay, that's exactly what I wanted. 10 minutes to the beginning of our star now. And you can see, I think the only thing I forgot to go over on our approach briefing was our missed approach. So if we have to go missed for whatever reason, climb up to 3,000 on the 225 radial of LaGuardia VOR. Our GPS will do that for us. We're allowed to just follow the GPS for the missed. It's only the approach that needs to actually be following the ILS and localizer itself.
Boston.
That's 1367.
Just wondering what you're doing.
That's a good question.
1367, yeah. The FMC missed it, but we're turning now. I mean, if you can give us a heading, that'd be good.
Delta 1367, fly heading 300 for now. I'll have a vector for you shortly going to Hannah, so 300 for now.
300 for Delta 1367.
You know that you've messed up when the controller asks you, what are you doing?
Citation 9 Charlie Juliet, cross Basie, at and maintain 8,000, steward altimeter 3041.
Cross Basie at and maintain 8,000, and altimeter 3041 for Citation 9 Charlie Juliet. We can go ahead and start a descent if we can sit Basie at 8,000. That'll be nice. Enter. Would I be able to start a VNAV for that? Yes, I can if I set this right now to VNAV. And the plane will apparently try and maintain 270 on the speed, which is fine. Oh, but I need to set my altitude to 8,000 to let it do that. So, are you going to start descent now, or I said VNAV, ALT off. I'm on VNAV, vertical navigation. I probably fucked that up. Hold on. Let's just vert speed it down at, I don't know, 500 feet per minute. I think we need to re-intercept what we just missed, and then we can turn it back on, so that'll be good. And we're still 28 out, so we're not in a huge panic yet, but still, this is why we're planning everything out ahead of time. In fact, once we hit 270, I'm actually planning on hitting the flight level change mode and just bringing my throttles down, just so we can catch up with that VNAV path right there.
Maintain 4,000.
Okay, that is a very quick drop. Can I VNAV it now if I set VNAV on? Yeah, it's trying to catch.
KLM 563 Juliet.
What is it doing? Yeah, I see that. Wait, plane, what are you doing? Did you deploy? Oh, of course, it automatically deployed these stupid speed brakes. Okay, it's trying to catch it. That's what matters. So there's no passengers on board to see that. All right.
KLM 563 Juliet.
All right.
4,000 feet.
Let's go ahead and bring those throttles back and just let the plane do its thing. And let's actually go through our checklist now since we've already started our
Station
descent.
9 Charlie Juliet, leave my airspace shortly. New York is closed. Radar service terminated and frequency change is approved. Have a good day.
Frequency change approved. Citation 9 Charlie Juliet. Have a great evening.
That's 1367, that's perfect. We're climbing.
I'm just listening to Delta because this is funny. Anyways, I need to actually focus on this. What are you doing? No. You're joking. Okay, whatever. We can ignore that for now. We're on 22.8 for now. Okay, I can't deal with this. I'm just going to listen to Boston.
Yeah, aircraft calling Boston. Whereabouts are you?
No, I'm nowhere. No, I'm
inbound.
anyways,
Boston.
descent checklist.
Thank you. Radar
pressurization, landing, elevation. I don't know how to set that. Doesn't matter. Altimeters are already set. And exterior lights. We're about to pass through 10,000. We should definitely get our yep. Recon lights are still on. Landing lights on. Taxi light we left on for whatever reason. About to pass through 10,000. So. Just gonna let, oh, we should adjust our throttles. I keep forgetting. This thing doesn't have auto throttle, so I do need to keep adjusting to maintain that speed. Descent checklist complete though, so let's go ahead now and take a look. If I were to, yeah, I don't know. I think we're gonna have to wait till we're a little bit closer, but let's plan for 2-2 for now. And how about this? Once we're over, probably what, crawl? Let me go ahead and just check something real quick.
Oh yeah, sorry, I took a minute break.
Sorry, okay, yeah, you know what, I'd rather listen to this. Alright, so now, oh, never mind, I'd rather listen to this. Okay.
1367, I'm going below 38.
Oh my god, I'm breaking a speed limit. Wow, okay, this is, that was my bad. I should not have been doing that, but let's flight level change mode it and just crank you down to 230. Okay, well, that's gonna be a report and a half right there. Jeez. it's a simulator. It doesn't really matter. I'll tell you what. We're gonna go down to 8,000 and watch your speed, dude. You're losing a little bit of speed there. Let's try and maintain 230 and then we'll get on our merry way. There you can see New York in sight though, so that's nice. About hit 8,000. I'll tell you what, I'm going to just hold this current vertical speed
KLM 563 Juliet Heavy
and go down to 3,000.
250.
We're on our own at this point, so you should be on vertical speed mode is what I said, right? Yeah, so let's just maintain this 800 feet per minute descent for now. And then at some point we are going to say, so we're now direct HARP. So hold on a second, let me just see. So I'm thinking from HARP, we... yeah, let's from HARP say direct to our Yeoman, direct Yeoman from there. Alright, I'd like to see now if it'll let me go
Airport, Bradley 6 departure, vector Dream, then as filed.
Yeah, it's still doing that. I don't know why, but... Okay, I'm just gonna leave that at 10% so we can just listen to that in the background and see when it ends. But you can see we're almost about to pass HARP. Just descending at pilot's discretion at this point. And then let's go ahead and hit, just so we're ready. There's LaGuardia approach, so we can say activate, and then we'll say, so how about this? Let's put our heading mode just to maintain what we're doing right now, if it'll go fast enough. So it's going to be a 161. Boom. So we're on heading mode now. I could say activate approach. Yep, that's great. Now let's see if I said direct. Let's go actually direct Yeoman. And then I say nav mode, which will be that button there. I said nav, not heading. Nav on. Ah, shit, I passed it, so I need to... Oh, there we go. Plane's just being slow. I thought the plane was gonna... Oh, that's annoying. That's fine, I'm very aware of the Bravo. We're all good there. And now let's just get ourselves here in a second. How far out are we? We're still 12 out. Okay, awesome. So let's go ahead and just maintain our current speed. It's all looking good for now. Yeoman at 3,000. Okay, awesome. So let's maintain what we're doing for now. It says our MSAs are actually higher, so that's what I'm looking at. Once we get leveled out here, I'm going to go ahead and... Oh, we're already intercepting Loc 1. Okay, awesome, awesome. That's actually really nice that it did that automatically for me. So, yep, nav source localizer 1. So I don't have to worry about switching between my GPS and anything else. So we're all good there. Just taking a look, though, I got to go ahead and going through my approach checklist since we're almost on the approach. Actually, 7 out from our initial approach fix. Let's go ahead and just say speed bugs for landing. All on. So approach speed 137, they want 125 to be our VREF, and I've noticed this thing likes to float a lot, so we actually want to make sure we're at, or maybe a little bit below VREF by the time we're over the threshold. So should be leveling off here in 1 second. Once we intercept that glide over, probably Yeoman, then we'll go ahead and, yep, we're already on nav mode, so we know we're good there. And missed approach was up to 3,000, so we can leave 3,000 in there. LaGuardia traffic. Citation 39er Charlie Juliet's over Yeoman, ILS runway 22 LaGuardia. So we've already captured the localizer, and we can see now our glide slope starting to come alive. So let's go ahead and punch. Once that's within 1 bar, we'll punch approach mode in. And you can see that we're still following the localizer, so don't even have to worry about this. But once we're within 1 bar there, we'll go ahead and punch our approach in. So now you can see it's coming in now. We'll hit approach mode. That should arm that, and we'll see how stable we get. So let's go, let's just go 1 notch of flaps out and see how, with approach mode activated, if it'll actually intercept. Come on, please. Yes! It's going to do it. Awesome. So 1 notch of flaps out. Awesome. Things are looking good there. Let's just maintain this, start to slow it down slightly to our VREF. Let me actually make sure I have my feet on the pedals. Just taking a look now with the approach. Ice protection is not required. Crew briefing is done. Flight instruments good. Passenger briefing not required. Seatbelts not required. And before landing checklist, landing gear will come out in just 1 minute. We're actually losing speed a little faster than I'd like. So let's just add a little bit of power. And passing 2,000, we'll put our next notch of flaps in. We're actually a little above 2,000. An examiner would be like, what the hell are you talking about passing 2,000? But you can see the runway's in sight, so we're good there. LaGuardia traffic, Citation 9er Charlie Juliet's on a 5-mile final ILS, runway 22, LaGuardia. Alright, let's go ahead now and passing 2,000. We're below 2,000 now. Let's bring the gear out. Verify my speed brakes. Why are my speed brakes like that? They should not be like that. I don't know why they do that, but it's annoying. Speed brakes out, and we'll go flaps full. Make sure that by 1,000 feet we have our missed approach altitude in. Obviously, we got a pretty stable approach. Make sure 137 for the approach speed. We should almost be at. And we'll actually be vacating off to the right today for our for a transient aircraft at LaGuardia. So, about to hit that 137. LaGuardia traffic, Citation 9er Charlie Juliet's 3-mile final, runway 22 LaGuardia. Alright, flaps verified are full. I'm not going to look at my checklist right now. We have too much going on, and I'm the only pilot flying, so let's just bring this up and punch this out and hide the yoke, please. And now we're hand flying the airplane. Let's just keep this down the localizer best that we can. Oh my god, it's November 8-9er. That's not on 122.8. LaGuardia traffic, 9er Charlie Juliet, short final, runway 22, full stop LaGuardia. See, we got a little bit below that, so let's go ahead and pitch up, and you can see our speed went up a little bit, so we want now to be right around our 127 mark, as they said. So we're going to pitch up a little bit because we got a little bit low. Minimums, we're landing. And I know this isn't a perfect landing. We should be going around right now, but since we're below, but that's fine. So I'm just going to pitch up and bring that power out and see how this goes. A little bit of a left crosswind, or right crosswind, but yeah, we're still floating. I've noticed this thing floats so much. Oh, okay, and the game can freeze on me right there. Yep, I love it. Love it. All right, let's just hold this down and fly that nose down very gently. Yep, nose is down, add in brakes, add in brakes. And we can vacate here to the right. Awesome, so I'm guessing our speed brakes, and they didn't even deploy. Of course, the one time we don't want them to deploy, they do that. Nice. So let's vacate here onto, say, an Alpha Alpha. Alright, cool. LaGuardia traffic citation 9 Charlie Juliet is clear of runway 22 at Alpha Alpha. Going to be taxiing over to transient park in LaGuardia. Go through our checklist now. Flaps coming up, that's just a memory item. We can make sure our taxi light's on, that's off. We don't really need the pulse lights on. It's 5:30, so we're actually early, which is awesome. After landing checklist, thrust reverser stowed, flaps are up, ice protection not required, external lights are set. And next is our shutdown checklist, so let's just go ahead and follow the taxi diagram. I don't actually know where the actual parking spots are, so let's just park in front of that funny little building there. So just gonna move myself about up another inch and then hit the brakes right here. Parking brake on. Let's just go through our shutdown checks. So do documents, shutdown, throttles, idle, park brake set, ice protection, just verified. All off. I don't think I ever turned it on today. Gonna go ahead now and just pull you to stop. And seatbelts are off, just verified that they are actually off, which they are. And verified everything looks good there. Main batteries are still on and connected for now. APU is set and fine. So we're going to go ahead and get off this airplane right now with everything set up. I should probably turn the beacon light off. We could leave the tail flood on for now, but let's go ahead and hop off this airplane. I'm going to hand everything over to the next crew. Passengers should be on board momentarily. I'm curious if we have that required 5.6. Let's check. All right, so we said earlier that we want at least 5.6 thousand pounds to make it to Asheville. We have 4,000 on each side, which tells me that we have 8,000 total. So I'm not worried about having to get fuel for the trip to Asheville. Next crew is going to take this plane over with 9 passengers on board. So, why do the speed brakes deploy now? That is so stupid. Anyways, but yeah, no, I'll meet you guys outside the airplane once I'm done handing things off, and I'll see you later. All right, guys, just went ahead and handed things off to the next crew of this airplane. Overall, I'd say it was a pretty good flight. Only slight issue was when we were getting onto the star, I started getting a little bit behind things, just with the approach and knowing how far my initial approach fix was to my last point on the star. I got a little bit confused there, but it seems like I judged it pretty well and just going direct from Harp to Yeoman. Obviously, if we had ATC, things would have been a little bit smoother there, but you know, we won't always have ATC on this in the flight sim. So with that in mind, hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it was maybe a little bit educational. Probably not, though. It's more of a fuck fest, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys all, I don't know when, sometime soon, hopefully. But I hope you all have a wonderful day.